Apex Online Racing is sponsored by Elgato, who created this lovely Stream Deck. For more information about the Stream Deck, the link is in the description below.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Evil Dragon XSL, and welcome to the final round. Welcome to the end of the season. This is season 15. We're at the end. We've hit it like a brick wall. That hurt. But again, for the 10th, 11th, 12th time this season, because it's technically 12 races, because we had 2 little Diddy races in between. Welcome for the last time, Jess, this season.
Hello, it is the last time you'll be seeing us two this season, but do not worry, we'll be back for some more action in a few weeks' time as well. We're in Indianapolis this week, in the Indianapolis Road Circuit, which you can find in Indiana. It is approximately 6 miles west of downtown Indianapolis, and for those of you that are using kilometres, it's around about 10 kilometres, and is also known as the Brickyard. And most people know this track as to be the oval, the speedway version, the shortened version. The drivers are driving on the road version, which is a little bit more challenging, but a little bit more exciting. And what's going to be exciting as well is the last race, and it is 90 minutes, which means no qualifying and reverse grids.
Indeed, of course, the road version getting an awful lot of lag, by the way, in the server. So hopefully it stays stable for us sakes, because we don't want to happen what last time happened. But of course, the road circuit, built in 1999, of course, to host the Formula 1 race in 2000. A venue that really, for Formula 1 in terms of popularity, didn't really kick off. We all know the controversies of 2005 with the tyre issues with a Michelin tyre, which all these drivers are currently running, so hopefully no one blows up. But luckily, we're not going around that banking due to the fact this is the this is, if I'm not mistaken, the MotoGP variant of the circuit, as well as the IndyCar variant that runs here. Of course, MotoGP back in the day used to run this circuit in the reverse route, which was an interesting concept. Of course, the IndyCars now run around this circuit as well. Often they're about a week or two before the actual Indy 500, so it's often a double header for IndyCars at Indianapolis. Now, the question is normally...
And I think Evil had to go for a little bit there to speak to someone. But, well, we got a full grid today, which full of 16 drivers, which is good news. We had a full lobby last week, which was great to see as well, ready for the final race of the season. And for those of you that were watching last week, you witnessed the fact that Mr. Boyraxa won the title by, I think the gap now, if I look at the... Well, let's just get the standings up, actually, whilst we're at it. The gap now is 70 points. It obviously has 50 points on offer for the final race. So, mathematically, Gaza can't win the title from here. So, Boyraxa won last week the title, his second in a row, I believe, and Gaza in second, which makes them the team champions. And we have Tinnis in third, which I think could still be decided third place. With Jasco and Papano mathematically with a chance of getting third place. And we've got Big Kid Daddy in 6th, Jazzman in 7th, and Defino in 8th, Leonardo 9th, Matt Jordan in 10th, all you Matt Jordan fans, Fogarty in 11th, Vetro in 12th, Scold in 13th, Essa Racing in 14th, Archel in 15th, and Ethan in 16th. And the order that I've just read out, just think of it as the reverse of that, basically, is what the grid is going to be tonight, as VSR Rotary, once again, just like the last endurance race, is going to be starting on pole position.
Indeed, he very much is. Now, what I was about to say about this circuit, by the way, it never really went well. The main changes on this circuit, we'll get into after a hot lap, by the way, we'll get into after the hot lap, because Jess, we've got a hot lap we should go to.
Yes, our final hot lap of the season is going to be commentated and driven by our pole sitter for tonight, VSR Rotary.
Hello, my name is VSR Rotary and I'm going to give you a lap guide of the Indianapolis road course. So at the Indianapolis road course for the final round of season 15, this is home to the IndyCar GP and the 8 Hours of Indianapolis and the Intercontinental GT Challenge. We're doing a 90-minute race here. Now coming down the back straight into this heavy braking zone for turn number 1. It's a 90-degree right-hander. Now feeds straight into this left-hander here. Any fans from Formula 1 back in the early 2000s will recognise this first sector. Obviously it's been heavily modified since then. Usually we turn right, but now we turn left into this left-right chicane. Easy flat through there in the dry, but in the wet can cause some issues. Those curves can get incredibly slippery in the wet, so may see some drivers spin out there. Now down this quarter-mile back straight into this left-hander 90-degree. If you want to throw it up the inside, you can do there, but you have to be careful you don't out-brake yourself. Now into this right-left, this is where the BMW struggles a little bit. Can understeer quite a bit through this section. And then it's this right. Indianapolis, not really a track suited to the M6, so I can see that this could be a bit of a tough race for me, but I'm going to give it my best shot. Now coming into the final sector, once again heavily modified compared to the last time we've been here. Into this 90-degree right, and that feeds into this very strange left-hand turn hairpin. Don't like this back sector at all, not really a taste to mine. And now you're through this flat right-hander, once again another corner that can be very tricky in the wet, very easy to rotate the rear around, and that is a lap of the Indianapolis road course.
And welcome back, everybody, to a very sunny afternoon. We're here currently at Indianapolis, of course, the circuit, which we mentioned earlier, hosted IndyCar, most famously. The IndyCars, of course, this is the Indy 500, which would have taken place, if I'm not mistaken. 2-3 days ago, actually, because it would have been around that time. So, F, because we can't talk about what happened, otherwise we'll get demonetised, because we're never allowed to talk about it. But I hope everyone's staying safe and keeping with along the guidelines, and everyone is doing okay, of course. Meanwhile, though, talking about fun and games, we've got a nice long 90-minute race for sim racing. By the way, this race will go to night time and then back to day. It's almost a 16-hour night cycle as well, so expect a lot of fun. Rain expected as well, within around about 15 laps from the start as well. So it's going to be a treacherous race out there for all our drivers. Now, just what I was talking about earlier on, this circuit's undergone quite a few changes since 2000, of course. The first sector has changed a lot, as the old version, if you remember the F1 game, you just take a quick right, roughly where that chicane is, you can see on the mini-map. If we can try to find someone coming through dead corner would be nice, but I don't think we can. We'll go on board with Archie quickly, then we'll take you through. So this whole section here, completely what it was back in the early 2000s. You come down towards turn number 1, everything's okay here. It's the exit of turn number 3, of course, where the drag strip is, most famously. You'll take a right-hander. You can still see it on this game. They haven't removed it in real life, unlike some other corners, but it's going to come through here. So we'll show you a perfect what I'm talking about. It's cut a few corners out of the circuit, which I think really they should have left in, because in my opinion it makes the circuit so much better. So on the old circuit you would take a right here, you can see the runoff there. On the right you go right, and then you loop back around, of course, and rejoin there. On the right there you can see the re-entry here to where the drag strip is. The other place they completely demolished, by the way, this section here, was the double hairpins, what's right down here. Because you take this left-hander like you would nowadays, however, it would be a swooping long, quick right-hander, of course. This first sector completely like it used to be. You take another right there, then another left, of course, to hairpin corner before re-entering this circuit. Matt Jordan, meanwhile, has disconnected from the session. That means he will not be able to race, unfortunately, here. And, of course, the most famous thing they changed on this circuit, which, in my opinion, was the worst thing they could do, is move the last corner. Because that you would have gone straight on into the banking of this version, which is for safety reasons, of course, because 2005 happened. If you remember that, you know what I'm on about. Of course, they moved it. And now we've got this little interesting last corner. That can be very treacherous, by the way, in the wet conditions. Very easy to step out as Arjo is going to do a burnout, I think. Or maybe do a good start. Let's see what's he doing. He's going back to the pit lane. So everyone has set their lap times, of course, in practice. This will not matter where the qualifications start. Vector currently on his final lap, as though he'll be the last driver to finish. Everyone's probably waiting for him, wondering when's he going to finish. Well, he's up by 13,000 and he's back in the pit lane, so never mind.
So, yeah, they've been told to go into the pit lane, of course, because then they can get this session underway. It is a rolling start for these guys, but they won't exactly be in order, so they'll have to move out of the way so they can go in their relevant order based on reverse championship order. Now, usually the ones, well, I think I remember just when we did a reverse grid in the sprint race, with Jasko starting on pole, he actually did quite well and actually won the race. I think that's the only case where we had someone who was on pole in the reverse grid actually won it. So I wonder if we could see the same today. So, that's convenient, as I think, obviously, we're on board with our pole man right now. So let's run through the grid once again. So we've got VSR Rotary on pole, then it's Archill, then it's Essa Racing, then it's Gold, then it's Vetro, then it's Fogarty, Matt Jordan, who I don't think is racing. No, he's not racing. Leonardo in 8th, Defino 9th, Jazzman 10th, Big Kid Daddy 11th, Papano 12th, Jasko 13th, Tinnis in 14th, Gaza in 15th, and Boy Raxer is in last position at the back of the grid. But he has nothing to worry about. He's won the championship. For most of these guys, it's time to have some fun.
Indeed. Now, in terms of fuel, by the way, they will have to stop, of course, twice in this race, to the fact that it will go back to wet and then dry again. Matt Jordan's rejoined, however, it's too little too late. He will not be able to start in this race. For fuel loads, they will be pitting for around about 5 to 6 litres, because the car can do 59 to 60 laps, and this is a 63-lap race. So unless they're really going to try it, they could try and potentially lower the fuel modes a little bit, try and stretch that fuel load out. However, in the long scheme of things, it's not really worth it. There's most likely they'll be taking off fuel, potentially in the first stop, potentially in second. Scold last night, by the way, in the practice event, which I was watching, he tried to go the full distance. He ended up having not a lot of fuel at the end. If he point one, he had to lift off. He was in third, and he had to drop back down to 7th. He did get a penalty of 20 seconds as well, so watch out for that in the race. Penalties could be extremely high around this circuit. But Jess, for the final time, let's get these 5 lights on and let's wait for 5 seconds.
Yeah, the final time in season 15, of course, and they're going to wait 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, as everyone is going to make way for other people to start this race, as everyone lets our pole sitter through, and I think that's Archil at the front now. I'm not entirely sure if that's Archil, but yes, it is Archil. So Archil's not far from his grid slot anyway. I just went through it anyway. It's going to be hard to ask confirmation that Matt Jordan can't join the session, but it's going to be hard to predict who I think is going to win, because obviously there's no championship points on offer, but there's still a course for third place. There's still people that want third place in the standings. We got to keep our eye on Papano, we got to keep our eye on Jasko, and we also got to keep an eye on Tinnis as well for a potential. These are the only 3 that are mathematically with a shot on getting third place, and obviously Gaza is confirmed second place after last week as well. So the top 2 positions have been confirmed, of course. But you know, who do you think could get the final podium spot in the championship?
Right, you got to question though. Tinnis has been a man on a mission this season, so we can only expect him to be running up that. Even for the second time this season, however, starting a pole position. He's been putting that car to good work, by the way. He's been practicing, he's been getting used to it, especially since he's changed to the BMW now. Last couple of races not been good. Practice, he had an issue where he had the car going a lot slower. He's mended that now. It had the automatic clutch on. I think he's turned it off now, and that has meant he's gained a little bit more speed. He's doing about 160 miles an hour. That is on par with the Mercedes, so expect Ethan to try and run away with it today. Watch out for the 2 Audis behind, and watch out for Archil, because you know how good he has been. Of course, remember, watch out for the likes of Jazzman, Papano, and of course your back 3, Tinnis, Jasko, Tinnis, Gaza, and Boy Raxton as well, Jasko as well, Jess. But the final time, let's get ready to go. Here today, Indianapolis, season 15 is coming to an end, and who is it going to be then? Down toward turn number 1? Well, it's going to be inside for Ethan, on the outside for Archil. Let's get ready to go then. The long wait a season that's been decided. Well, let's all go have some fun in the sun, whilst it's out at least. Let's get ready to go then. Season 15 should be underway any second now. The lights are on for an age, but the green flag is off and run away. Good start immediately from Ethan. He launches himself off the grid. They're 4 abreast in the background meanwhile. I think that's Vector potentially trying to make a few positions up there. There's Skull and Esselot already on the back of R10, but stonking start from Ethan. They come down towards turn 1. R10 second as there. Skull into second position temporarily, but can't do it through the exit. Second position down to third for Skull. Esser into 4. Vector down into 5th position so far, but everyone cruising off the start. 1 car off there. I think that's Tinners off the road. I think his teammate in trouble as well. That's Jazzman in trouble at the start of this race. Pano and Jasko seeming to come to blows, so they've dropped down the back already. But Ethan streaks away then at the start of this race from R2. Then comes the 2 Audis ahead of the 2 of the Lamborghinis. There, I think Defino having a look up better there. They do almost touch into the braking zone of turn number 6 then, as they come through the second main chicane of this race. However, Defino looking punchy at the start of this race. Vector looking good as well. A little bit wide for the Lamborghini driver, and also very wide for Defino as well. But crucially, though, Jess, Ethan off for a good start, and this time, unlike last couple of the races, has not had contact or been spun around by another car yet.
Hopefully you haven't jinxed anyone, Evil, because last time you said that there was a complete disaster. But yeah, Ethan seems to be doing very well. So is Archel as well, you know, but Archel's well on the back. You can see Archel's getting a lot faster as we speak. So he's going to try and get the run into turn number 1 then. As let's see if Ethan, he's got to defend for his life really, going in towards turn 1. And it's going to be a really tight corner coming up now, as they do very well here, as Archel's going to attack for his might here, and he gets the move done here. Ethan goes on the grass a little bit, but it's Archel's place there, and look who also is behind him. Scold as well in 3rd place. I mean, Skull's doing a great job as well. Esso in 4th place, Vetro in 5th as well. It looks like that the Aldis are doing quite well on this circuit at the moment, obviously with Skull in 3rd.
Yes, Ethan's going to try come back. He's gone the outside then. Late braking. Let's see if the BMW can try slip around right outside. He won't do it there. Archer weaving one way and the other. He is not letting Ethan have a chance. He knows the BMW is quick today. Ethan knows if he wants to do it, he has to get it earlier on, because remember, the BMW in the long run pace is not as good as the likes of the Lamborghini, especially the Merc. Potential fan favourite, but we know the Lamborghini around here very, very quick. Stop keeping up with these 3, by the way, and they're already puzzling away from the likes of Essa as well. So Essa really being a cork in a bottle as Defino and Ventry go side by side through the last corner. That is Carl Fogarty trying to come around the outside as well. Now he's got contact again for the second time. Fogarty involved, Big Kid Daddy around, and I think if they all got out the way there, was there being contact down the back, Big Kid Daddy stopped still, and down the back, so there was contact there indeed. Unfortunately, nothing they could do. But Archer still leads from Ethan in 2nd. Scold up into 3rd position though. From the start of this race, he jumped Essa at the start. Essa rather holding that line there. Leonardo having a battle, I think, there, and clearing Fogarty as well. Yeah, Leonardo now up to 6th position. Fogarty down to 7th. Behind him, Defino, Tinus, and then comes Gaza and Raxa as well. So Gaza and Raxa from last on the grid, already up to 10th and 11th position respectively. Also following Gaza as well, so lose 3 on the move, Jazz.
Yeah, definitely. Boy Rats is good in these calls of things as well. But we see 2 Lamborghinis trying to get past hunting Mercedes of Fogarty there. But yeah, I've noticed that the Lamborghinis are getting quite fast as well as the Mercs as well. But we can see Boy Raxa in 11th, but he's going to be under pressure soon as well. But obviously he has nothing to worry about. But he wants the top 5, maybe even top 3, maybe the win, of course, because he's a champion as well. But Leonardo looking quite impressive as well as Vetro. Here comes Vetro then going side by side. We've also got Fogarty as well, almost dropping by his Vetro. Great move from him. Vetro's staying in 5th place. He means business. He wants to score points in this, but he knows he might have trouble when it comes to the wet conditions. But at the moment, he's fine in the dry as well. We've also got Leonardo, Defino, Tinus as well. This is a train of cars.
Leonardo on Fogarty covering the inside. There's almost contact. Lots out Vector. So you got a Fogarty up your inside, my friend. And there's almost contact. There is almost contact. And there goes Fogarty spinning round again for the 4th time this season. Carl Fogarty in real trouble at the start of this race. And if it's gone wrong for the man, it's gone very wrong. There, I think Tinnis or Jazzman having a look. Oh, contact there and spinning around goes by Raxel, and your champion. I think contact with Jazzman in at the start of this race. And poor old boy Raxel punted 360 degrees round. And Carl Fogarty now says, I'm going to have a look back at this race then, because it's not over for me, he says. Meanwhile, up front, there we got Ethan so far in second position. There up front low is Armstrong starting to pull away a little bit now from his compatriot. Scold in third. S is still doing a fine fourth. Vector in fifth. So these real free drivers, Scold, Esther and Vector, holding everyone up right now, Jess. Leonardo now up into sixth. Tinnis into seventh. And then we got Gaza and Jazzman. And I wonder, low, well, I'm pretty certain that was Jazzman into the side of by Raxelo.
Yeah, it looks like it, but surely he will learn from his mistakes. Of course, if someone's gone off, I don't know who it is. I think it's Leonardo. Yeah, he's in the grass as well. He's got to be careful. It's not an unsafe rejoin, which it isn't. Boy Rax, I think, is going to definitely get past Leonardo. He's going to try at least anyway. He doesn't want to get held up by him too much as well. Obviously, Fogarty's holding up a little bit as well up in front. Defino joining in as well in the party, trying to go into the middle of these lot, but that's going to be difficult if that's the case. As yeah, Boy Raxa is comfortably in front of them, and Boy Raxa stays in 11th place.
Indeed, these three drivers, well, four drivers, might I say, trying to battle hard here around Indianapolis. Some people like to say this could be a ball fest, but so far these reverse grid races, Jets, are proving up to be a barnstormer. Well, so far, like we got Gaza, Tinnis, Jazzman, Jaska, Papana. That's the battle for 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th. Basically all the way down the field to 10th position. Then we got 11th down to, 14th position, give or take now. Fogarty starting to drop off the back of them ever so slightly. Big Kid Daddy right down the back after that spin with Fogarty. Earlier on in this race, of course, just about 2-3 laps ago. Up front, though, still leading this race. Archie pulling away, and now more so. Gold, meanwhile, keeping on with Ethan relatively. Is Ethan, where's Ethan gone? He's up there, actually. Never mind, I thought he spun temporarily, but no, he is just still up the road. Pulling on the BMW today, doing a better job than he was 7 days ago down in Dubai, where, unfortunately, Ethan ranted at me. They had a really good battle, Scold and Ethan, to the lie. However, we were too concentrating on watching the leaders have their celebration for the championship, which I think might have been a bit more crucial. Meanwhile, Tinnis, he's having a look on the back of Vectro so far. Now we've got the real class of the field. Now, Tinnis and Vectro, they are often the two drivers you not often see battling each other. As you can see, the sun starting to settle in the background, so expect to see some beautiful shots as this race goes on. But Tinnis trying to pressurize Vectro now. Let's see if the old Dutchman, who hasn't done too many laps in the practice, by the way, he's done about 13, 14, so he's not practiced too much. Let's see if Tinnis can unravel the Dutchman and let the other fellow Dutchie through then. Behind them, we've got Gaza and Jazzman looking as there we go. Contact slightly there, and now that is always going to be the issue, of course, in these types of races. We've got Jazzman as well, all over the back of Gaza. But Vectro, he's a slower driver, to be fair of him. He's really not in this kind of gaggle of cars. He's not in a championship fight. However, he is proving to be a little bit of a nail in these guys' coffins so far, but he's holding them up ever so slightly. As there you can see Jazzman having a look up the inside of Gaza. Won't do it there on the brakes, my friend, because he'll end up punting another Mercedes around. He's done it to one car, we believe, so far. He might do it to two. He's not careful. Lamborghini's really coming alive in this race, though, Jazz.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously we spoke to a few drivers before, and most of them have said the Lambos are quite quick in this sort of scenario compared to the other cars. It's kind of like a Lambo track as well, and then it's like the Mercs, and then potentially the Audis, and then the BMWs obviously are quite slower. As Jazzman, he's just looking for an edge on Gaza right now, but he just can't quite make the move done, to be honest, on Tinnis, of course, and Jazzman, the teammates. Obviously, Tinnis wants to be third in this championship, and he's doing everything he can to secure that. He's third at the moment, and if he stays as he is, he's going to retain third, because obviously his rivals are way behind him at the moment. Obviously, Jasko's in 9th, Pano is in 10th place, so if Tinnis makes the move past Vectro, it's probably going to make him very easily.
Can he get the car stopped? Low Vectro holding his line. Fair play to the Dutchman. He's holding it there. He stays it for the time being, and this is only going to be infuriating these drivers because they're all just getting held up. Tinnis, Gaza, Jazzman, Jasper, Papano, by Raxo starting to catch these group up as well, and this is causing pandemonium between these drivers right now. They don't know what they're going on. What's going on, they're saying? I want it. Tennis is going for it. I thought for a second, no, he has to back off. And this is getting a bit clumsy here if they're not too careful. Vectro wide through the last couple of corners, holds the line. There goes Jazzman down the inside of Gaza. Gaza now down to 8th position, and in the space of a few hundred yards, Gaza's gone from 7th down to 8th, and now we've got the 2 Lamborghinis, or the 3 Lamborghinis in a row. And here we go. Is Tinnis going to line up Vector then? Is Vector going to cover the inside line? Yeah, he's going to cover the inside line then. So, race is on, he says. I'm not letting you through. And he holds the inside line. But down the inside, almost contact there with Jazzman as well. He's hunting his teammates. This is turning into a right scrap for this 6th position. This 5th position. We've got 5th down to 11th, 12th position to be fair now. And this is becoming very entertaining indeed. Well, Petro, you've got it all to work for now. Now you've got really the 2 top tier drivers. And I think Jazzman is going to get past his teammate here because they're going to switch positions. They are. There we go. Switching positions. Down the inside there in the background. Papano having a look on the inside of Jasko. Can't do it there either. So Jasko just about holding that line off Papano. However, not for long because Papano says, thank you very much. I'll have the inside line. But Jasko says, no, I've got the inside line, my friend. But Papano says, you know what? No, I want the inside line. And Papano says, I'm going to take it this time. And there we go. Up the inside, he finally gets it. A nice little switch to Rooney here. But remember, you'll have the inside here. We won't have the inside for the next corner because it's all going to be Jasko's line. However, can't do it. Nice little couple of straight backs between those 3 drivers now. Up front, Jazzman on Vectro Jazz.
Yeah, Jazzman, the France team versus Vectro, the defending Lamborghini, of course. I mean, yeah, Vectro, I think the less practice you get, the more difficult it's going to be for you. And we got Papano in the background trying to potentially go on and move on Jasko. But can Vectro hold on to Jazzman, which he does? That's good. That's good to see, to be honest. And we've got the 2 teammates working together. We've got Tinnis and Jazzman, actually, as well. And obviously Gaza too. I think Tinnis' next chance potentially could be in the next couple of corners, potentially. But I'm really surprised about Vectro, to be honest. I thought he was going to drop way down the order, but he's doing very well. This is his last race this season, and he wants to show that he wants to be in Tier 1 again next season, in Season 16. But looks like Tinnis is going to go again, but I don't think he's going to do it. No. Is it?
I know he might. There's been contact. He's forced him off the road there. Now he's got through. That's the first time. And
oh, no.
It's going to happen eventually. Poor old Jazzman.
Oh, no, there's Boy Raxer. There's Boy Raxer. Oh, no, not Boy Raxer. It's someone else. It's Jazzman.
Yeah, Jazzman, Vectro, contact Afino, I think, involved. And it had to happen eventually, Jess. I couldn't see it lasting for long. Unfortunately, it was the cork in the bottle. And unfortunately, Jazzman, wrong place, wrong time. I think the part of him is that contact with Jaskomin. Well, these 3 drivers are having a bit of a battle. Boyaraxa as well. We haven't seen what's going on front. R10 still leads this race, by the way, from Ethan and Scott. S is still in 4th position. As now the sun's starting to set. And remember, the rain is on course, by the way. So it's starting to see a few spots in the next 5 to 6 minutes, we believe. Here we go then, attempting the inside. Papano, very defensive indeed. And that's going to say right around the outside. Can he do it? He'll be squeezed off the road if he's not too careful. And Boyaraxa has to just sit back a little bit more. Just wait, my friend. You know you can try and get past Papano. You are the championship leader. You've got the championship in the bag. And your teammates, to be fair, not too far up the road either. Poor old Vector, though. Down to 12th position. I wonder if he's got any damage from that. Now he's still got Jazzman, Vicky Daddy, and Fogarty behind him. So he's still got a little Vector train. Never always mock the Trilly train. Well, Vector's got the Vector train so far. So anything can happen, Jess, in these races. And it usually does.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think we're known for the Trilly trains in some of these races, but yeah, Vectro is the one leading the train, and I don't think he's going to be too pleased about that, but he was hoping to be higher. But sometimes mistakes can happen, of course, and to be honest with Vectro, he was very unlucky for getting involved in that little spin, as here goes Papano.
Starting to rain, Jack.
It is starting to rain. I do have there's a little bit of spitting that I do see. That has come a lot earlier than I thought it was going to be. That is interesting.
Indeed, we're expecting. Now, remember, the tyres won't get wet until we believe around about lap 17. We should expect to see drivers coming in the pit lane. You can last about 5 laps in the wet. However, this is going to be the situation where When do you dare try and come in for the undercut strategy when you're up front? That's the question. Archer's got it all to run away for now because he's the man who's leading by 7 seconds. He took the lead from the start and he's rather just running away with it, Jess. And this is the thing, the Lamborghini around this circuit strong. Ethan and Scold in 2nd and 3rd as well. Essa right now going to be the cork in this bottle because look at the trainer cars behind them. Tinus, Gaza, Jasko, Boyraxa. Papano in front, might I say, Leonardo Defino. Then comes Vector and Jazzman. I think Jazzman's going to have a little live on the inside on the brakes. Is he going to try it from this far back? I'll be gobsmacked if he doesn't take him off. He's not careful from that, but he decides brilliantly that he's not going to try and murder the Dutchman, although the Vetro must be careful he doesn't get too much on those curbs and spin. Scold meanwhile on the back of Ethan. This is a battle for 2nd and 3rd. Now the last time these two here were Jess, and was a few seasons ago, they had contact down into turn number 1. Let's hope for their sakes it doesn't happen again when they do get close, but unfortunately that battle not going to be seen for a little while yet.
No, I don't think so as well. I think they're going to concentrate when they're going to pit next and when they're going to worry about putting on those slick tyres at the moment. But the lap times are going to slow down quite a bit actually. The fastest times is 1:24. I could see that Archer has been pawning away from Ethan there at the moment. He's looking really, really quick so far. 1:24.9. Obviously, will come down as the rain comes down, of course. But everybody else, Skolder 1:25.4. He's beaten Ethan. Other people in the 1:24s. We've got Jasko. We've got Gaz at 1:25.1. So they're all match on pace at the moment. Big Kid Daddy and Fogarty are a little bit way off at the moment, but everybody else are majorly close out there. But even Fogarty and Big Kid Daddy's going to have a battle, and so is Vetro as well on Jazzman, actually. This is round 3.
Jazzman's just got ahead of him, actually, Jess. He's got through that to turn 2 and 3, I reckon. He's got in that. So, before the chicane, so Vetro, you can see, struggling the rear end. That's the key characteristic of a pad here. You can just see how, especially in cockpit, we don't often go in cockpit because it's not really that good. But you can see there's the pad from Vector, and you can see here, we'll look aboard with Jazzman. You can just see how much more smoother it is, Jess. That just shows you the difference from pad to win, especially when you look at Scold here, right behind his fellow VSR teammate, might we say, Ethan. Now, Ethan had some stern words for Lewis. If he takes him out, he won't be impressed because he's the team leader of this, technically. So Scold wants to be careful he doesn't get his elbows too much up. You can see he's trying very heavily to try and get past Ethan, who's starting to drop back into his grasp relatively quickly in the wet. And you're wondering here, is it worth Scold really just, is it Ethan holding Scold up for in terms of this race, because Scold seems to be quicker right now. In fact, he's going to go through. He is going to go through. So, you know what? Bang on your money, Evil. You guessed it. And on cue comes through. Maybe they're listening to it at Fast of the Light. So, that's a bit of a VSR team switch around, I reckon, then. So, Ethan knows he's not in that running. And Scold can go chase after Archer then. And this could be the first podium for Lewis in a long, long time.
Yeah, I can't remember when the last podium was, but I think it was a very long time, and it definitely wasn't this season. The closest he got to a podium was Hockenheim, and he got 4th place. So imagine if he gets 3rd, that would be insane. We're not going to say anything more, because otherwise we could commentate his curse on him right now, which will be a bit of a shame. And the closest will be to Tinnis in 5th. He could possibly get a podium as well. Essa still in 4th place as well, but I think Tinnis is catching up to Essa pretty quickly. And obviously we've got Defino on I'm just trying to think, on Jazzman. Yeah, Defino on Jazzman. Jazzman has got past Vector, and this is Jazzman's next attack on obviously Defino, but surely Jazzman is a bit quicker, but he's not actually, because Defino is quicker with the lap time at the moment. As they both come across the line, what will their last lap times be? So Leonardo 1:26.5 and Defino 1:29.5. Jazzman is very quick. He's very quick, so he's going to get the lunge into turn 1. No, he doesn't. He doesn't get the move.
Yeah, Defino looks like he made a mistake that last lap. I presume it was down into the right-hander where we just cut to the action. We saw him flashing the light. So potentially he might have gotten the curve, may have had a little half spin. We know it's getting wet out there as well. So expect them to be in the pit, and I reckon within the next 2 to 3 laps. Here we go then. Jazzman on the inside of Defino. Should be able to do it on the brakes. pulls to the left, or the right on your screen right now as you go to the back camera. Down the inside it goes. This would be a relatively easy move for Jazzman. He's done it a few times. Hop over the curb for good measure because he likes to fly through the sky. And now up there. Vector, I think, has had contact with someone, I reckon. Is that with Big Kid Daddy? I think it is with Big Kid Daddy because those two have suddenly dropped backwards. Vector flashing the light. And poor old Vector, it's gone wrong for him this season and these last couple of races. He was in 4th for quite a while. Now he's down in 14th. Actually, talking of people, Esser's gone off somewhere, hasn't he? Because he's down into 9th now.
Ah, where did Esser go off? Because he was 4th, where Tinnis was.
So that's that. There's that big gap. Look at the gap though, as well. Especially these top 3 drivers. As there we go, Gazza up the inside of Tinnis, has a little look out the inside, skating on the brakes, almost contact for turn number 1 for good measure. Let's see, Lombre out the outside, won't do it there, wants that for Papano to try and slip around the outside. We know he's a wide, old fox, and we'll try it, because he's going to have Alonso down the inside, thinks about it. He knows too well though right now, it's the final race, don't want to end up losing anything else. He is in the championship battle for 3rd, 4th in the championship, these guys are. Let's see though, Papano. He's in 6th. Gazza in 5th. The Mercedes, as per usual this season, looking incredibly impressive. Upon laying on the brakes. Must be careful though. Jasco's not too far behind. And these 4 drivers, just since the start of this race, as well, to be fair, these 5 drivers, Bayraxa, Jasco, Papano, and Gazza, as well as Tinas, have all just stayed together despite Bayraxa having that contact and spinning round just a couple, well, about 16 and a bit laps ago.
I think Bayraxa is proving that you can forget about your mistakes and carry on for the rest of the race. And he's obviously, don't forget, he started last and he's now up into 8th place. So he is a fast little character as well. Papano being late on the brakes again. Oh my goodness. He is known for Mr. Late Braking once again. And I think he is not going to get past Gazza yet. But he's going to try on this final corner then. As I think everyone's quite close. Jasco, Bayraxa is quite close as well. And maybe Leonardo potentially they can catch up. I do see Jasco trying to make the move on Papano, but we can see Bayraxa, I think, is saying, hang on, if you don't make the move, I'm going to make the move. So Jasco really needs to get a move on, but he's dropping back from Papano every minute. So I'm guessing he's struggling with these wet conditions because it's not perfect for any tyre right now. It's almost getting close to that it's not good for either tyre, but obviously it's best to be on the dry tyres for now. Meanwhile, Skolder's got 1 penalty. Everyone else has been squeaky clean.
Indeed, so 1 penalty for them as we go through this little grid order in the thing. You can see the rain starting to fall, and I wonder, Jess, is it time for those wet tyres? Because you can see the lap time starting to slowly drop. Though I say that the last lap for R10 was a 24.9, which is ludicrous pace, by the way. That is almost, what, 5-6 tenths quicker than Skold. Skold actually in the 25s as well, so Skold the second quickest driver in this race so far. Here we go, this is the corner of Papano, who's often so late on the brakes. This time around he's not, and I'm wondering who's going to be the first to blink and try and do an undercut for the wet tyres, because remember, if you leave it too late in these conditions, you're going to lose so much time. It's not like, and you can see, let me go there, you can see the shine on the road. And I'm wondering, is anyone going to try and come in the pit lane right now? It's Leonardo the first in the pit lane. So he's gone for the wet tyres. That's a guarantee then. So first man on the wet. Now we'll keep an eye on what his pace is going to be in this race now. Behind them, yep, Esser is in. Now this could be a brilliant strategic call from both of these drivers. They had nothing to lose. Esser right down the back, by the way. So he's gone off somewhere, because he was suddenly down into 14th, 15th position before he came in. So something else has happened to the poor old driver. Jasco, meanwhile, had a bit of a slowdown there, and here comes Bayraxa. Papano has gone off, actually. My apologies. So Papano's made a mistake. Jasco now battling with Bayraxa. Bayraxa squeezed out to the outside. And now surely, Jess, it's now time for everyone to come in. Archill's staying out. Skold, is he going to react because his teammates in the pit lane? Is he going to come in? That's the question. No, he stays out as well. What about Ethan? Does he stay out as well? Is it time, though? That's the question. No, Ethan's in. No, so he's gone in. Wants to be careful. Doesn't stay off the road. And he gets in straight away then. So Ethan, first of the top 3 to come in. Tinnis stays out. Gazza decided he's... Oh, they're all coming in. Look, they've all reacted to Gazza and Gazza. Jasco, Bayraxa. Papano stays out. Let's see, Jazzman stays out as well. So does Afino. What about Vetro?
goes in, I think. No, he's not.
Vetro Bicky Daddy stays out. We want to see what Carl Fogarty can do then. We often see him wanting to come in the pit then as soon as one person comes in. He'll come in.
And he
Yeah,
does. He likes to
And-
follow the herd, doesn't he, Evil? I mean, but you know, I think it's a sensible time to come into the pits right now.
They've all had to react. They've all had to react to Leonardo and Essa right now. Leonardo, Essa actually, no, he's had damage, I think, because look, he's right down. He's a lap down, actually. Lax Papano is lapping him, so Essa has had something going wrong with the car because he's a lap down. So they're already looking at what Leonardo's doing. They're all exiting the pit lane now. Remember, though, this pit lane is ridiculously long. It's the longest pit lane on the calendar. It's million miles, I often say, because of course it does race the Indy 500. They have to have that long pit lane for that measure. He even re-exits the pit lane right now, and he is well clear of Tofino. He's the first real driver in this gaggle. What about Gaza? These guys are all going to be all very close exit the pit lane. Look at them. Gaza, Boyraxa, Jasto as well. Yeah, sort of like Monza occasion that you've seen at the 4X in the pit lane. Straight through turn 1 though, and in the background you can see Jasko a little bit further back as well. Leonardo, he's a way down actually compared to where it is. Fogarty's still in the pit lane, meanwhile he's right down into last position. Not surprised there. By the way, in comes Scold right on cue. That's just how long this pit lane is. Ethan just came out as Scold comes in, and these two were running together.
That's going to be interesting. I think Skull's going to be miles ahead of Ethan, I think, as Papano goes in as well. But yeah, I think they needed the long pit lane as well, because obviously they got lots of driver changes. They want to have enough people to get that in, and obviously the change of fuel as well. Do they just want to get used to the car as well? But, you know, if I was a driver, I just hate long pit lanes because you want to get on with some racing. But I think that's benefits to the likes of Gaza and Boyraxa, who had to respond, of course. But I wonder, the ones who haven't pitted yet, they may have regretted this decision as Jazzman goes into the pits, as Scold comes out. Where is Ethan on track?
Oh, back.
Yeah.
He has, so it's going to be, to be fair, it would be closer than you think, because he's still in the pit lane. Now he's going up to full throttle now. You might just get a glimpse of him down into turn number 1 if the camera wants to work with us. If he doesn't, so you'll see Ethan just pop up ever so slightly in the back there. He's way clear, actually, what, some 7-8 seconds, so that's what, Ethan, a penalty, as that 10 seconds, it is 10 seconds, speeding in the pit lane then. Now, that isn't going to be the end of the world for him. There's Tinus. He jumped Gaza and Boyraxa, if I'm not mistaken there. Big Kid Daddy, however, has come out right in front of Jasto. So, you know what? I reckon these guys all came in a bit too early. Because that Big Kid Daddy's come out right in this gaggle of cars. He was down the back. Where's Jazzman in all of this? He's just exiting the pit lane now. He's down in 12th position. That's gone catastrophically wrong for Jazzman. Vetro's just exiting the pit lane as well. He's going to be under pressure from Fogarty potentially and Essa. They're almost right down the back. And in comes your race leader as well. And let's see what he can do. He should be released in a couple of seconds because Scold right now just coming through the last couple of corners as well. Could be very close between these two drivers. The pit lane is long around here. However, the question is, how long is it going to be? And he should come out ahead of Skull, but the question is how much. I reckon about 5-6 seconds if he's lucky, because he's still not going. Now you can see Skull through the last corner. Skull on a charge. And remember, though, he should just get to the line, and now you'll just see. He should be on the throttle now. Skull's going to be close, but he shouldn't be able to pass him, though. The question is how close is it going to be? You know, it's very close.
It is going to be close.
It's awfully close as Archer knocks over one of the brake boards there. He might get himself in trouble for that if he's not careful. But Skull on a mission right now, 2nd position, and he's doing it right now. So Skull up to 2nd, then from where he was qualifying in 4th. He has got a 1 second time penalty meanwhile, though, so it's not over yet. But he is only 2 seconds off of Archer. That's an incredible outlap for Skull, though.
Yeah, that is. He pitted definitely at the right time, and obviously that's forced Archer to respond very quickly there. I think the undercuts worked very well for Scold. Hasn't worked as well for Ethan because obviously the gap has sort of decreased in that department between Tinnis and Gazman and Boyraxa. Big Kid Daddy is going on for some wet tyres as well.
Damage, I reckon. You know,
damage as well, yeah.
Yeah.
So there was damage earlier on with that spin, so he's now
Been
in last
twice,
place.
Actually, been in twice. So this is for damage because he's in the pit lane a long time. So he's gone off somewhere. And poor old Big Kid Daddy, Fogarty as well. These two drivers, the veterans of the sport, struggling out around here today. And that just seems to be a common thread. Meanwhile, Boyraxa and Gaza So, Gazman, as you called the boy earlier on, is currently in 5th. We often get these two drivers mixed up, Gazza and Jazzman, because they do occasionally, Gaz and Jazz, you get thing, very similar names. Jazzman, though, he's down in 10th position. A really torrid afternoon for the man currently living in Kitale, South African driver. Struggling this season, didn't get the best start of the season. He's taken one victory today, as so far he took
today
just a couple of weeks ago in Zhuhai. Oh, excellent. He's the man on a mission, the championship leader. He's won the championship. He can really afford right now just to have these battles, just afford to just relax, be calm, just have a nice fun day out there. He's behind his teammate Gaza, and if Gaza is currently, I think, actually challenging if he wants to get that second position, he wants to guarantee it. So I think Byraxa, he won't mind just sitting behind his teammate right now, I reckon.
Yeah, I think he will. I think his teammate will probably give him a little bit of slipstream as well, which can help them gain some more time. But the fact that there's cars chasing behind it may become a little bit of an issue. But due to the fact that they're quicker anyway, that shouldn't be a problem in that department as well. So you can see Archel has increased the gap to Skull now. He's 2.7 seconds clear now. So he is doing very well in those wet conditions. I mean, I watched a few of his races, and when Archel is faced with the wet conditions, he absolutely shines. So this is kind of race, and Ethan's still doing well in 3rd place as well, but he's lost 1 second to Tinnis as well, so that is interesting. But Jazzman, he's got to lift his head up and say, well, what can I do differently? He's got to get past Leonardo, and he's got to possibly get past Papano, but that's going to be a tough task, as well as the track gets darker. The braking zones are different. You'll be braking at different points, and it's going to be a lot harder to know when to brake. So muscle memory is crucial around here.
It very much is muscle memory. And where is the best place to overtake right now? Like Jazzman and Leonardo, the only battle going on the current circuit, by the way. We feared something like this may happen in the race. The battles, of course, always going to be spread out. It's a long race. It's not a sprint race unlike some other races this season. It is your big main race, as I'm having some phone issues right now, so I can't see the chat, unfortunately. So if you do have any comments, I cannot respond to them.
I will have
but I'll try my best to see what's going on down in the chat.
I think there was only one question, that was, when's the new season? We don't know. To be revealed. Check the Apex Online Racing Twitter. It will be announced there when there's going to be new season. But there is going to be a filler league soon as well. Not quite sure what that is, but all we can say, I'm not sure we're allowed to say anything really, are we?
We're not allowed to say anything. Well, I mean, I could allude to what it is, because I know what the season is next season. Well, rough of it, but unfortunately, right now, Byratza in 6th position, Jasko in 7th, and Jazzman currently in 10th position.
Yeah, so just keep
And Byratza, I think, did I just see someone go off the road there? No, I wasn't. No,
it wasn't. I think it was just maybe someone
bit of a blip there from the telemetry. Miscommunicating there. Not a lot of action going on here, Jess. One driver out of the race. Is it Fogarty? It is Fogarty. And again, this season's just gone wrong for him. He just can't get any luck, can he, the poor old man?
It is a shame, because obviously Fogarty, he started the season with 2 DNFs. His best result was actually in 8th place, and that was in Donington Park. And he got 7th place in Monte Carlo. But everything else has been 9th or lower, and he's had a DNF last time out in Abu Dhabi as well. But let's not concentrate on that, let's not dwell on that, as we got Jazzman. He wants to get past Leonardo again then. Oh, he's tucked up right behind him at the moment, isn't he? He just wants to edge him a little bit. He knows he's quicker. He says, hold on a minute, I want to get past him. Jazzman spun the grass. He must find these wet conditions very difficult, and that means he can't get past Leonardo now, and that means potentially Papano. Now, as you know, I'm looking at the one person. Vetro's a little bit further back, so, but that means his rears are not very good with his tyre life, which means that when he next stops, it's going to be very tricky for him. But, yeah, he's not liking these conditions, which is hurting him a little bit. But there's still a long way to go in this race. We're not even halfway yet.
Indeed, Jazzman, too ambitious, too optimistic. Unfortunately, it doesn't work for him right now. We're currently on lap 24 of this 63 33 lap race. We're coming into just over half an hour mark, give or take. We've just gone over, I reckon, now. So half an hour done, another 60 minutes to go. In the background, you can see that is, I think, Capano defending, or is that Jasco pulling to the inside, or trying to unsettle someone there, or just to show something as well. None of action going on just right now, unfortunately, but what we can say so far is Archie up front is leading this race comfortably from his from his fellow rival and former Audi compatriot, Scold. Behind them, Ethan, he's starting to drop back now ever so slightly, 9 seconds. However, in the grand scheme of things, he will drop all the way down to 6th or 7th position because he's got Tinner, so he's starting to close in. No, really not too much, to be fair, comparatively of pace. However, definitely Gaza, Bayaraxa, Jasco starting to close in ever so slightly.
Yeah, it's a shame not many things are happening at the moment, but that's sometimes the case in this circuit. I think we're just going to wait potentially until someone makes a mistake and potentially we'll get that move, but it might be that just they're not liking these conditions and causing more people to struggle. But the ones that are still quite close together, we've got Bayaraxa, Gaza, and we have got not Jasco, Tinnis as well. So we've got these people running in close proximity at the moment, which is great to see. Don't forget there is still the 3rd place to be decided here today. Obviously 1st place and 2nd place was decided last week, but 3rd place, Tinnis wants it, Jasco wants it. Doesn't like Jasco. Jasco could get it, he's still within a charge, but he's 25-point gap, so it is going to be really tight if you want to get there, of course. But everything is possible around this Indianapolis circuit. We've seen people make mistakes in Monaco, but obviously this is more wider than Monaco, so you know it still takes a wide variety of concentration for these guys. But you know, Bayaraxa looks like he's having some fun, and he is showing it, of course. But Gaza seems to be struggling to catch up to his compatriot Stefano Spum.
Yeah, Stefano down there. He's currently in 13th position. That was Vettori going through into 12th. Now that is caused the puddles that may start forming, of course. Vettori is struggling since that earlier on. But I think Stefano too optimistic on the curve, Jess. Too optimistic on the loud pedal. And unfortunately for the driver, decided it wants to switch around. We do apologize, by the way, for the sudden camera pull down the straight. We're not sure what that is. Meanwhile, that is Archel and Skull start to close up. Meanwhile, Ethan coming through the last corner. Getting hounded now slightly from Tinnis. I think Ethan's made a mistake recently because he's starting to drop well back. I think this lap might tell us that he's probably in the 33s, I reckon. Yeah, 35. So he's made a mistake that last lap. That's just allowed Tinnis, Gaza, Bayaraxa, Jasco, and all these gaggle of cars just to start to close up. And now Ethan's going to be the cork in this bottle. And the BMW, the big boy as we like to call it, it's massive, some say. And now he's got it all to work for right now. He's got to defend the whole of his life. What can he do? Well, the question is, what can he do? The BMW, even though it's been upgraded, it's been boosted on the power, it's not really a match for the likes of these Lamborghinis and the Mercedes, to be fair. Alas, the Audi even seems to be quite a lot more pace as well. Jess, so it just shows to us that really, the BMW, especially in Tier 1, a big slide on the rear end for Ethan, just does not seem to be a car that can win a championship, or let alone really get these race wins potentially.
Yeah, there's a shame though, but obviously Ethan took a little bit of a break whilst he got his new wheel, and he just wanted to, he's not bothered about results really, he wants to get the most out of the car before potentially next season. Obviously Ethan has not decided if he's doing next season or not. It's a bit of an unsure moment for him at the moment, but we'll have to wait and see, as it's getting very treacherous around here. I think more people the lap times are definitely coming down. I wasn't expecting to come down this hard, but that's what Daytona does for you, of course. It's not quite monsoon, though.
It's Indianapolis. We're not at Daytona, my friend.
Why did I think it was Daytona? Oh, my goodness. I don't know why. Indianapolis, not Oval. Daytona.
I'll let you off. Oval circuits, they often confuse us, but alas, we are at the more famous circuit, to give or take. The circuit that was built first, 1907 area. It was it was originally a dirt course, I'm not too mistaken. That was, of course, paved in brick. That is where the famous name, the Brickyard, comes from. Fun fact, you can still see some of the entire bricks are still there, actually. If you dig up the pavement, all the bricks are currently there. It's only under a small little layer of tarmac, might I say, as well. So you can really just tell how old this circuit is. Obviously, it is why drainage can be a bit of an issue, because it can't go into the tarmac because there's bricks underneath it. As well, down towards turn number, especially over the start line, we'll have it on board actually with one of the drivers. People on board with Ethan, figuring he is currently in the battle for that position. As well as from tennis, you'll see the brick pattern as well. That is kind of the start line. That's where the famous image, of course, when you win the Indy 500, you go to there and you kiss the Brickyard. It's the most prestigious bricks in the world, potentially. Of course, bricks tend to be quite prestigious in America, of course. And you'll just see down the straight, you'll just be able to see it, of course. You'll blink and you'll miss it. Look for the start line, and I'll point out when you go there. At the start line, you'll just see it right about there. There you go, across the start line. There you can see where the white line is. That is where the bricks are. As Ethan has to come for the inside line down towards turn number 1. As he is, Tinner's going to try and fly around the outside of the BMW. Let's see, they're braking around the outside. Doesn't clean them right around the outside. Let's see, he can even do anything. He can't do a lot because the BMW struggling in these conditions. He's dropping a second a lap compared to these guys. He's setting around the same pace like as Jasko is, as well as Leonardo. So the BMW starting to struggle in this afternoon's race.
Yeah, it looks like it for Ethan. I mean, now down into 4th place after starting pole, but I don't think Rotary was expecting, obviously, the win anyway, so he just wants to have some fun. But Scold, 1.1 second, just look at that. I mean, I'm not going to say anything more. He's struggling. He's made a mistake somewhere.
Yeah, he's gone off somewhere that last lap, because it was about 7-6 seconds, so he's made a mistake. I presume this next lap will say he was pulling like 1 minute 33, if my gamble is correct there in his lap time. But Gaza all over the back of Rotary. Then this is the battle for 4th and 5th position, and these two drivers are very fond drivers indeed. Let's have a look then. That was R2's last lap time. It's going to be the 38. He's spun somewhere completely then. So that's a shocking lap for R2. However, Skulk can't capitalise on it yet. He has got some 15 seconds to Tinners. Oh, he fell off into the wall! It's gone wrong, gone on the curb, and the rear end stepped out. There'll be damage for sure on the BMW, and it's gone badly wrong for the car that was going so well, and he might get away with it. He might get away with it. Let's see how much damage that's done to it.
That's quite a bit of damage, Evil, by the looks of things.
Rear end, be rear suspension, most likely rear left suspension damage. Yeah, rear left, so he hit the wall on the rear end. Unfortunate, too easy. The BMW decided to step out. Easy can do. It's the first time I think I've seen Ethan lose the car there all practice. So, real shame for the man, who's obviously been doing well. Next, tomorrow is his birthday, by the way, so he was opening the birthday treat today. However, it will not to be, although happy birthday for tomorrow if you watch this back later on, my friend. So, let's see what can happen in between these lot, low jazz. So there's still a lot of drama to come, but especially between the two Mercedes drivers.
Yeah, there's a long way to go. You know, we're almost halfway in 6 laps time, so anything can happen. But I think it's going to be tough for Ethan to recover, but we'll have to wait and see, of course. But I wonder, as the conditions either worsen or improve, what they're going to do when they're in terms of making their next stops. I do believe they have to make one more stop, these guys, due to the conditions.
Right.
Yeah, so they just got to think on their feet a little bit, as I'm hardly seeing much rain at the moment. I'm just seeing spray as Ethan's hit the ball again, I think.
That's going to be damage this time then, so yeah, it's not going well for him. So yeah, you can see the car's weaving now. It's got damage. I think he wants to carry on his best he can, but he's just got damage. I think it must be aero damage then, especially maybe rear aero damage. He hit the car heavily on the rear, and these cars, they do have a diffuser, would have taken a chunk off it in real life. However, in game, they might get away with a little bit more. Vyrax's still in 5th position. He's got Gaza in 4th, Vyraxa in 5th position. The opposite way around so far then, and that's all these two can do. Both of the boys, they've finished 1 and 2 in the championship. They got the Constructors' Championship many races ago. Constructors' Championship really not much of a thing in AOR, might I say, unfortunately, especially because of the difference of points. That's often cited the reason, especially the lack of cars. Unfortunately, that does just mean that the field becomes very spread indeed. Skull, though, still doing the second position, doing a stellar job so far. Oh, don't do that, Evil, I was going to say, as he almost spins right on cue.
I hope you jinx him. Please, Evil.
He almost right on cue. He lost it there. He caught it. But that almost gave me something bad. Is in the background, Gaza and Boyrax are completely sideways. Let's see as Ethan's going to take it nice and dandy through this last corner this time around, I reckon. He is going to take it nice and dandy.
Yeah, he does. Phew!
Look at the pace load, Jesse. He's what, 33s? He's getting caught by Jasco, Papano, Jazzman as well, Leonardo, Essa, Vectro as well for some stars as well. That is Vectro. That is your race leader, if I'm not mistaken, coming up to lap him. If I'm not too mistaken, is that Archer?
That is Archer, yep, that is Archer. As Vectro's gone off again, he is struggling.
Yeah, no, he's getting out of the way just so he's not really going off. I was supposed he's going off to get out of the way, so fair play to the man. He isn't holding him up, though. To be fair, Vectro not doing too bad today because he's way ahead of Defino and even more ahead of Big Kid Daddy, who's, for whatever reason today, he hasn't got any pace, unfortunately. So, alas, it happens to the best drivers, and Big Kid Daddy, who's often been cited as one of the most consistent at the beginning of the season. These last 3 races, just unfortunately, have just gone downhill. He's been finishing in the lowly 10th, 11th since we gave him our driver of the day. Have we cursed him? Maybe. I don't think so. I think someone's gone off somewhere. Is it Defino going slowly again? He's Defino. Defino's struggling more, to be fair, just than Vectro, unfortunately. I'm not sure what's happened to Defino, but he seems to be struggling.
Yeah, even though his lap times are not too bad, 1:31.6, I mean, he's just lacking it. It might be the damage he's got earlier, I'm not entirely sure, but...
Okay, Ethan, Jess. Red light's gone, so that's from that contact in the barrier earlier on.
And Jasco does it nearly exactly the same thing.
Yeah, it's the puddle. There's a puddle down there, Jess, I reckon, because they're all getting called out. Because you can see he turned down, and the car went straight up. And
he's struggling. He's weaving again.
So Pano might as well got away with it. Jazzman, Leonardo. Let's have a look through the likes of Essa. We'll see if we can spot these puddles, especially through this last corner. As Essa, who was in 4th position at the start of this race, 3rd might I say, right down the back so far. Let's spot and see if we can see the puddle. So just be on the inside here, you're going through it, and the car will suddenly just want to go straight. You can see there as well, the car.
I can see the puddle.
Yeah, so the puddle's there. Unfortunately, the driver's struggling. Jasco, still on the back of Ethan. Boyraxa, still on the back of his teammate Gaza. Meanwhile, Scold catching up to Vector right now. And that's a battle for the back marker and your current 2nd position there is Scold. You can see that being very treacherous through the last corner, not pushing it too hard, might I say. Starting to drop back a little bit now from his fellow driver up the road. Vectro, last couple of laps, starting to get the pace on a little bit. 33, he's getting caught bit by bit now by Skull as well. I think Skull probably wants him to get out of the way as soon as possible.
Yeah, I mean, Skull has seen what probably happened to Ethan, and Skull doesn't want to be involved in those sort of issues and being stuck in a puddle. So I think Ethan must have warned him, to be honest, and that's why he took it a little bit too cautiously in the final corner. You can see Jasco has got a lot of spray going towards that final corner. It's really hard to get through, I think, as Jasco, is he going to have dirty air going through turn 1? Not quite. I think it's Ethan. Ethan's dirty air you can see as well from the suspension. And that's not helping Jasco whatsoever. I mean, it's going to be hard to overtake, but Papano may get caught up on it soon, but he's sitting pretty down in 8th place.
Well, the issue is, Jess, there's no point coming in the pit end because it's going to dry out, and we believe around about 15 laps of sun to start coming out as Ethan's taking the yacht route through the corner. He can get away with it there. The penalties aren't often as strict in the wet, might I say, compared to the dry conditions. So he gets away with it there. Bun is starting to close up on these 3, these 2, might I say, as Boyraxa and Gaza continue their little brawl then. That's starting to pull away a little bit now from his team, and he is catching, is that Tinnitus up the road? It is Tinnitus up the road. And these two drivers, Jess, have got nothing for these top two. They are absolutely on a different level, especially Archer right now. He's dominating this race. He's making a few mistakes, however, as Scott, you can see, again starts to close in ever so slightly, about 6-7 seconds. But these guys got 10 seconds as Jasko and Ethan started about together down the back of the field. As there goes Jasko, I think nipping right up the inside of Ethan. Is Ethan going to try slipper on around the outside? In the wet, he'll be brave to do it. He'll have to back off, must be careful to get himself on the puddles. Ends up spinning because they've got Papano right up behind him, my friend. Papano, I think, is going to have a little lunge up the inside. I don't think Ethan can really do a lot about it. Let's see, he's going to cover the inside line there, the BMW. Surprisingly agile in a straight line for the size of it. There it is. Papano going to go around the outside, Ethan on the inside. He should be able to hold that line off there. So Papano tries to switch a route around the outside. Ethan will give him no courtesy around the outside there, my friend. And he gets the door well and truly slammed shut. Papano thinks about diving up the inside, but in the wet, you're not going to do it there.
No, you're not going to do it there, my friend. And I think, again, the dirty air from Ethan is just not helping Papano, even though Papano is quicker than Ethan due to this damage. So Papano probably might try going late on the brakes as he usually does right now. Yeah. Hopefully Ethan will respond to that, which he does. He's going to stick to his line though. Ethan's doing well to defend despite his damage, so maybe Papano just doesn't like Ethan's dirty air. I think Papano will be angry. Ethan, get out of the way. I'm about to say something else, but it's a family show. But there we go, as Tinnis is third place right now. Quite comfortably in third.
That laps are pleasing, yes. No, you know what really I love when people say exactly a 0-0-0. As well, that Boyraxa as well, 0-0-0.
Oh my goodness, yeah, I've seen, and Ethan, 7-0-0.
Yeah, they're all saying 0-0-0. I like when they do this.
Me too. You know, can they just keep it up, please?
That does not please me when you said a 9-0-1. That does annoy me. Meanwhile, let's not
dwell on that, Evil. We got some racing to commentate on.
Yeah, Ethan's now been passed by Papano in the meanwhile, so not too surprised there. Papano was going a little bit quicker those last couple of laps. Ethan's starting to really struggle now with that damage, I reckon. And it's only going to be a matter of time before he starts to drop down the field. Skull, meanwhile, still in second position. As well, there were flash of the lights for good measure as well. Definitely a man who get distracted by the slightest things. Last time around, he got distracted by the moon, if I'm not mistaken, and spun. Or was that? No, it's a Monaco. He got distracted. Archullo, he's the man on a mission right now. He's currently leading this race. He turns the lights off there to see the puddles, I reckon. Because when you turn the lights off, you can see more than you have Le Mans. And that's a weird phenomenon. As you can see, Scold, he's not too far back, actually. Last lap, 1 minute 30.1 for Archer. Scored 1 minute 30.9 for him and Tinnis as well. Coming through the last corner as well. They are well far down from these group here. As that is that Tofino in between these three drivers? It's Tofino just in front of Boyraxa and Gaza as well. So that's why you can see that driver there. For Ronda it's Tofino. Currently in 13th position, currently in this gaggle of cars. And Tofino must be careful, by the way, because you've got Gaza and Boyraxa who are currently flying around this circuit, might we say, Jess. And he is a man on a mission. He's a man who's going for second championship. He's pretty much, I think, got it in the bag, as Boyraxa has comparatively for the championship this season. As we mentioned earlier on, they're going for fun, but they are a bit surprisingly down the field compared to the Audis and Lamborghinis.
Yeah, they are. I mean, the Lambos are absolutely smashing it. And the Audis, I think, for Archer, is helping massively. So, you know, I think either get an Audi or a Lambo or a Mert. Do not get a BMW like Ethan, because you get damage like that. But you can see the Papano straight line speed is a lot better than the BMW. Of course, he's already pulling away quite a bit. But, you know, it's got an interesting factor for next season, of course. Which cars will they pick? Will they pick the similar cars, or will they go for different cars? It also depends on the tracks and the conditions that obviously the calendar will take place, of course. But, you know, you'll find out by going on to @ApexOnRacing on Twitter for more information when the season will start. But it won't be very long before we know it, because we've got a game that I'm liking it's coming to PS4 and Xbox in end of June. But I'm not going to say much because obviously we're on Project Cars 2 and not the other game. But I'm excited. Are you excited?
Yes, I'm excited. I'm not getting the game, but I'm still getting the game, if you know what I mean. Alas, but of course, next season, of course, the rumours are, and these are heavily implied rumours, I've heard from sources that we're going to get circuits such as Spa. We're going to get tracks like, of course, Daytona, Bathurst, potentially Fuji as well, Silverstone. A high expectation for those circuits might be on next calendar because apparently they might be going for the all-out brilliant season, but you didn't hear that from me. So, and if anyone says it, it was complete rumours. That's what I've heard from my sponsors as well. My Freebird up on my leg currently. Meanwhile, Byrax are currently in 5th, Jasco in 6th, Parno in 7th, and Ethan in 8th. These guys are still in their little gaggle of cars. Skull's currently still closing up on your race. Their Archer's gone off again, by the way, because the 37 that last lap, Skull's closed right back up again. Archer, and this has been a characteristic this season. Quick, but really inconsistent.
Yeah, I mean, if this race went on to lap 40...
Projects as well, so incredible pace.
130.7 for Scold.
Yeah.
That is...
777.
Can we just go on board with Scold, actually? Is the conditions drying up?
Yeah, it's not really. It's still wet, of course, but...
They're not as wet as it was before.
Yeah, it'll dry up, but we expect it to stop raining around about lap 45. The rain start to really come down. To be fair, actually, I think it might be right. Actually, it definitely does look a little bit lighter than it was earlier on. We can have a look for the likes of Byrax. You can see there's not really any spray, Jazz. That's the thing here. There's not spray. Now, of course, we can't see the spray like the drivers can, unfortunately. In the com box, a little bit more less detailed. Unfortunately, hopefully for next game we get more detail. But yeah, Byrax are up going for the wet patches. They're going for the red patches. They're trying to cool their tyres down. So it is drying, Jess. You are correct, my friend.
Yeah, I've got something right. Woohoo! So that means in about 5 or 6 laps, maybe even more, we could see a final stop. Stefano's gone off into the grass. We could see again, yes, and he's doing donuts. He did a mini donut, a half donut, as it were. But anyway, as Ethan goes past him, when will these guys go for their final stops? And will they have enough fuel to get there? Big Kid Daddy almost... I don't know how many litres of fuel they use per lap, but for most of these guys, Archer should be fine. Skull...
Take fuel on. So Skull still take fuel on as well, I think. Tinnis... Tinnis... Oh, Tinnis in the wall! Tinnis has drifted up in the wall of the puddles then. Is Ventura trying to get out of the way of him in front. Does do so, but Tinnis... skating on those treacherous puddles we saw earlier on. Even though it's starting to dry, those puddles are going to be a nightmare for these drivers as well. As Ganza and Byrax are coming awfully close to making contact as well down towards turn number 1. This is turning into a rodeo, Jess, and we often say America's a rodeo show. Well, here today in Indianapolis, in the state of Indiana, it's turning into it. In comes Jasmine. Now, is that for the dry tyres, I wonder? Now, that's off. I think that's a little bit early, but we'll keep an eye on him because if he's gone for dries, I reckon he might be spinning on the exit of the pit lane because remember, it's going to be very, very slippery down there. By the way, your update on penalties, Skull with that 1 second, Ethan with a 10. Those are the only 2 penalties currently on show today.
Indeed, of course, as Jazzman goes into the pits then. I think it's too early for the dries. I think there's some wet patches still there, but we'll see anyway as some of these guys go in, of course. You can still see some of the spray on the circuit, as obviously Jazzman is a bit low down anyway, so if the laps start to improve, maybe that could be a potential of him being on those. And I noticed Jazzman's put a little bit more fuel in as well, so that should be enough for him to burn off to the end, of course. Will Skull choose to put more fuel in? We'll have to wait and see, as he goes through turn number 1 as well. As I think, obviously, Archer's found a little bit more time in 1:29.7.
They're going for the dries, Jess. I think they're going for the dries. Now, let's have a look at Jasmine, by the way. This is where we've been seeing issues. It's this pit exit. And let's see if Jasmine, we'll see here, he should just be skating ever so slightly. You can see like the rear end really trying to step out. Of course, he is on the wheel. So he's going to be a man who's going to be on it. He's going to come up behind Vetra. And I think Vetra is going to be absolutely mullered right now. by Jazzman. He's going to be miles quicker. Look at that, yeah, dry tyres. He's on the dries, and look at the pace he's got, Jess. So it's now everyone's going to come in. Everyone's got to come in. In comes Tinners. In comes Tofino. If you don't come in now, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. The crest needs to scold, try and come in early, or is Archer going to try and stay out a little bit longer? So if Archer stays out, Scold should come in, I reckon. Let's see, Archer stays out. I reckon Scold should come in, you know.
Archer spun!
Archer spun then on the exit of the last corner, and he's doing donuts. I think, is Scold going to stay out? Scold does stay out then. He should have come in, I reckon. He may have got away with coming in. I reckon he should have come in. That could be an option. He might lose this thing. He's skating on the rear. And the tyres, I reckon, Jess, are going to be overheating like mad right now.
Tinners could win. Tinners could win.
Down in 10th.
We've got a not Tinners could win. Gaza could win. Or maybe, I don't know, it's going to be tough. Because the ones that haven't pitted are going to be in huge disappointment.
Tinnis was the first, really, of these top 4 or 5 drivers to pit, so let's keep an eye on his lap times. Jazzman's going to be the one we want to be looking for, by the way, this lap, because he's going to be the first one. And look, there's Tinners. There's Tinners and, is that no, that's
not Tinners.
That's him overtaking your Raptor and Gaza here. He's unlapping himself. That's how much pace he's got.
You mean Jazzman? You mean Jazzman?
Jazzman unlapping them. They're on the wrong tyres, my friend. You're on the wrong tyres, because there's almost a lap pit stop. I think Jazzman right now is in the prime opportunity to win this. Well, potentially come up to the podium, I reckon.
Archer's struggling. Scold is 7/10 behind him.
Yeah, Archer really got no grip out of their Scold as well. These guys have all got to come in. There's no question there. Ventura in the pit lane. Who else is going to blink into the pits? People around the last corner, not yet. But they're flying out here, Jess. And let's see, is Archer going to come in yet again? Is he going to stay out?
He looks like he's going in. No. Scold. No, oh my goodness. Why are they not going in? Pit. For goodness sake, pit.
Let's see, Jazzer and Boyarax, they're going to come in. What's these two are going to have to come in. They've just seen Jazzman skate off at the sun tip. But no, they're staying out as well. This is peculiar. Why are these guys all staying out on the wet tyres when it's really dry? Because look at Jazzman's pace. We'll have a look at it now. Look, laptop could be like the 26, I reckon. 27. He's 5.5 seconds a lap quicker than the rest of the field, Jazz. And I just can't.
I can't believe it.
Why they're not coming in? Tinnis as well. He's the first one in the pit lane. Veterans come in the pit lane. All these drivers are going to jump up massive positions. And you know what? Tinnis is in the prime opportunity to win this race now because everyone else is staying out. And it's about a 1 minute pit stop.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Tinnis could do it. I think Tinnis is... It's going to be a nice day for Tinnis if he keeps up, because Tinnis will win the race and he'll secure third. So that'll be good news. Leonardo is responding to that as well. Papano's in too. Ethan's in, of course, but it's going to be a longer pit stop for him due to damage. So he goes in as well. Surely the others have got to come in. Surely... because Jazzman, he's going to get quicker every time. He's only 7/10 down, but, you know, these guys have got to make sure that, because obviously, what's Tinnis' lap time? 28.
Oh, that's an interesting camera angle.
Wow, I was not expecting that.
Cameraman, hello, cameraman. The camera's broken. Hold on, there we go. We're back. That's interesting.
Yeah, he got stuck. He got stuck.
Cameraman got a bit stuck there. I think we're at 28. These guys, if they've stayed out again, they have. Why are they staying out, Jess? They're in the 31s. They're getting caught massively. They're getting caught. Tinnis is only 58 seconds. And the pit lane, look at the partner as well. They're all just coming out the pit lane.
Boy, Ratcher needs to pit as well.
Yeah, Gaza's in. And it'll be the thing. Let's see where Gaza comes in on all of this, because they've all got to come in. These top two have to come in now. If they don't, they're going to lose this race. The Tinnis... He's going to jump. I reckon Tinnis might jump these guys. Let's see how close Gaza. As someone's retired. Who's that? Who's out? As I'm trying to see. Is that?
Oh wait, that is Papano.
Papano out of the race then. So it's gone wrong. Tinnis. I think Tinnis is going to get up to
win.
Third position here.
No, he could win.
Let's see. Is Gaza racing the pit? And he's not. The last couple of laps have been shocking for him. Look at here. Look, this is the thing. look at the thing I mentioned, Jess, that he's going to come out way ahead of him. Tinnis left it far too late. No, sorry, Gaza left it far too late. He's only
I was going to say.
I'm livid, I said. I've thrown it away. And do you know what? Jazzman, he might come through.
Oh, I think that's Scold in the... Is that Scold?
Is that Scold in the pit lane? It is Scold in the pit lane. They've had to react. And
Archel stayed out, though, I think. Archel stayed out.
Archel's going for it. Now, the question is he going to try to stay out on the wet tyres on this dry circuit just till the end? He's not, because that will blow up.
And the others will be incredibly quicker.
But look, the last lap, 27.6, 27.0 for Jazzman. These drivers are going quick. And everyone has their 30s, 31s, and they've lost 5-6 seconds a lap. Gaza, you can see, weaving, trying to get heat in those tyres. They know what they've done. Jasko in as well. Yeah, you're right there, Jas. So look at Tinnis. This is going to be the crucial thing. Is Tinnis going to come out ahead of all these drivers? Gold should, I believe, be exiting the pit lane now. But remember, look how long the pit lane is around this circuit.
Tinnis is ahead. I'm sure Tinnis is going to be ahead.
It'll be close. Skull might just do it. He might just do it. Skull can still win this race, you know. I think Skull may have just had enough in him to come out in the lead of this race. However, it's going to be awfully close between the guys behind because Skull,
if it was a lap later,
in second. Tinnis will come out up to third position. Might just be behind Skull. So Skull has just about got this one in the bag. But Skull's got to be careful. He doesn't go skating off in turn one.
Oh, there's Ethan.
There's Ethan. He's a lap down, of course. He'll be getting right out of the way of his fellow team member. Let's see where's he going to do it then. He's trying to figure him out. As Tinnis closing right up, and this isn't working. Skull getting held up here by Ethan by whatever means. And look, Tinnis is all over the back of him. Skull's going, move, move. He's probably screaming as my voice crackles there. He wants to get through, and now Ethan finally lets him through. But look, here comes Tinnis. Tinnis is all over him as Ethan there slightly moved. But see, look, Tinnis is all over the back of him. Artel's in the pit lane now. And this is the question, though, Jess. Who's going to end up coming out the lead of this race?
I don't know. I think if Skull got hold up like that, maybe Archer may have just done enough to save him. I'm not entirely sure. But again, the pit lane is quite long as well. So we'll have to wait and see, of course.
He's coming out now, then. So this is the crucial thing. Where is Lee's two drivers? Where is Skull? Where is Tinnis? Tinnis is dropped back from Skull now as he spun, actually. I think Tinnis has gone up and spun.
Where did he spin?
Way out ahead.
Wow, yes. Okay. I saw Ethan. I'm sure I saw Ethan.
Yeah, Ethan, he's currently lying just behind him there. You can see the BMW. Tinnis a little bit further back. He's gone off. That last lap's going to be in the 34s. Yeah, he spun then. So that's what's happened to him. So he's going move, but the move has gone wrong.
Has everyone pitted for dries? Has everyone pitted for dries? That's the question.
I reckon they have, you know. They should have, if I'm not too mistaken. Of 13 drivers, 2 drivers out the race. Papano, and we have also lost Big Kid Daddy as well.
No, not Big Kid Daddy, Fogarty.
Sorry. We've almost lost Big Kid Daddy because he almost spun on Q. So Big Kid Daddy, who loves to obey my commentator's curse, so we spun and we almost lost him into the wall. But he's staying up for good measure. A little bit longer on by Rax is currently in 5th. 20 just under 20 laps to go, by the way. We've got about 17-18 laps to go in this murder race. Archer still in this race, however, from start to flag from his fellow rival, as that is Scold. And he's a little bit further back, as he was at 10 seconds. Incredible pace from Archer. Really worked, to be fair, where others came in. I'm surprised how much the gap really was. His outlap must have been incredibly impressive from Archer compared to Scold. 52 that outlap from Scold was. What's Archer's outlap? It's 1 minute 49. That's incredible.
Yeah, I mean, Archer is doing 11 seconds, gaining a second per lap. I mean, has Skull thrown this away? I'm not entirely sure, but I don't know. It was hard to predict the strategies in this race. We thought that the ones who pitted early had the advantage, but I mean the ones that pitted later that had the advantage. But we won't know what Archer's lap time is until he finishes his lap. So it's impossible to judge really. But Essa's struggling, and obviously Ethan and Vetro struggling. They're on the 131s, 135s. Everyone else seems to be back in their dry pace, of course. As Vetro,
Gone up, so it's still wet out there, Jess. And you know, he said in the 35s, it's actually going to be in the 40s nearly. 37, puddle, last corner. Dropped on it, and maybe some more practice he could have done. He didn't do too much of the dry practice. He's got on the puddle. He's aquaplaning straight off, and unfortunately, those things can happen when you don't put the practice and time into it. He's hit the wall, and I'm wondering how much damage that would have done to the car. We'll have a look on the straightaway as well. Let's see if he pulls left or right. We'll notice it badly, especially if he's on the pad. So let's see how much is he pulling then. Does it look like he's fighting the car too much? Doesn't look too bad from this perspective. Yeah, no, there we go. There he's got damage. You can see him pulling all the way sharply left. So damage, unfortunately, for him. Meanwhile, oh, Skull's in the wall. Skull's in the wall. He's gone off. And there goes Tinner straight through up the second. Skull very wide. He's going to be living on that one. He got in the puddle and went slamming up into the wall, I believe. So it's very slippery out there. Gazarin, that is, Byranta's still skating around as well. So it is still raining slightly, and they're causing the drivers to make mistakes, and Skull down to third now. Hopefully that wouldn't have done too much damage though.
Hopefully not, but his last lap time due to that was 1:31.1, but it may change due to that. But Jazz goes in the pits again, so
No, that's damage.
Yeah, that's damage. I think I can see the bodywork definitely has damage.
Indeed. So, two drivers out of this race, what I was about to say was Rapano and Fogarty. That's Matt Jordan, who was also out of this session. He did not start it, unfortunately. That 48 of 63 Jets are coming to the end now of this season. And the man so far up front who's done a phenomenal job, Archie. There from start to finish, no mistakes. Well, a few mistakes, but none that's put him down a second. He's stayed consistent, and he stayed true to his words. He was a man who came into the season wanting to win. Skull is in the pit lane for damage. No, Skull, what have you done?
He's thrown away a podium. He's thrown away a podium.
He has thrown away that podium position, and that has got to be rotten luck. You can see the car wiggling around. Can you believe it? He was doing so well, and now he'll drop. He'll come out comfortably, probably ahead of Ethan, I reckon. But he'll come around Jasco. He'll be behind his teammate Esser, I reckon. And you got the feel for him, man. There's Leonardo in the wall as well. And the last corner is incredibly treacherous today.
It's slippery. It's very slippery.
It's so wet out there. Who's that coming through? Is that Defino having a look? That's Defino, his teammate, then sitting behind him. So they'll hold position, of course, those two team cars. So that down as well. So Defino not really going to battle too much. Skull exiting the pit lane. You know what? Skull's not going to lose as many positions as I thought, you know. And anyone, if Skull can go off, if Leonardo can go off, anyone can go off, Jess. What about Archer? Can Archer go on? You can see Archer's taking such a cautious line for the last corner. Tinnis and Gaza as well as Byraxel. Gaza and Byraxel this entire race, by the way, have been literally together with nothing between them.
That's why they're teammates, of course, this season, because they want to match on each other's pace, and that's why they've won the Constructors this season, due to their consistency and get involved in these nice battles like this. And obviously, Gaza showed some huge sportsmanship earlier on this season, last week when Byraxel won the championship. But obviously, Gaza is ahead of him now, of course. But, you know, they've driven well. And I'm sure if I was them two, I would want to be teammates together again next season. Because you have that great partnership there. You don't want to lose it. And you want to win that title yet again for the Constructors and possibly the drivers as well. Maybe Gaza can take it away from Byraxel. We'll have to wait and see, of course.
Byraxel, double champion the last two seasons. He's the man who got the championship leaders. My notification just popped through my headphones, so they made me jump on my skin. Sorry if you heard that one there.
Luckily we didn't there, Evil, so that was good.
Biggie Daddy down in 13th position. My God. Byraxel, that startled me. and Gaza are in 3rd and 4th position. Tinner's currently in 2nd position, and Archer's still in this race. He's pulled that gap now up to 13 seconds, 26.0, so they're now setting dry lap pace. However, still treacherous for that last corner test. I mean, you could just see it with the amount of drivers have skated off. Who is the next one, though? That's the question. Who's going to be the next one? He's going to get too much on those puddles and go straight into the wall.
Yeah, I mean, one moment, and it is the wall, to be honest, for the puddles. And we've seen a few drivers almost getting caught out, but we've seen, I think, a lot more drivers than usual. And we've got 13 laps to go, as Leonardo, I think, needs to be careful as well. Some of these cars a little bit worse for wear due to the damages they've caused, obviously. But you got to feel for Scold, haven't you? Now down in 7th place. I mean, on for his best finish. I think we commentators cursed him.
Yeah, I reckon we did. You know, unfortunately, these things can happen. Scold, a little bit of too hubris on the power up, and the Audi snaps. It snaps more than other cars. Remember, though, the penalties will have a look at them. Still, same as you got Duffy over that 3-10, 3 for the 1 for Scott. So they've all relatively kept themselves relatively nice and stable. No real penalties, bar a couple of small ones. The Scott, again, twitching on that rear end. No grip through there. Byrax is still on Gaza. Vector, meanwhile, down the back, he's closing up a Big Kid Daddy right now. As I think Vector, has he gone off somewhere recently? Because he
looks
wasn't
like
last
it.
earlier. So he's down in 13th position and last because Big Daddy's now through. So let's see what he can do, of course. Big Daddy in the 29th, Vector the only one in the 30s currently. Struggling around out there at last. Maybe the practice could have done him best. It's the most laps he's done, of course. But in this current climate, don't blame him for not practicing too much on the final race. Byraxa still in 4th. Gaza's still in 3rd. Behind them there, Jazzman. He's closing up on, that Jasko? It is Jasko's a lap down now, actually. So Jasko had a torrid race since earlier on, right down the back. And Jazzman, currently one of the fastest drivers on the circuit. He's going a lot quicker than Tinus. And Tinus getting caught a little bit right now by Gaza and by Raxa as well.
Yep, indeed. I mean, some people, their championship position have been decided. Of course, some of them would not want to practice, but if I was Tinus, if I was Papano, but Papano's not in this race now, and if I was Jasko, you'll be practicing for all your worth. But it looks like as someone got very almost close to the wall. Wasn't sure who that was, but yeah, as Big Daddy.
It's a massive accident in the background. Who was that in the wall? Is that Archil?
It's Archil. No,
it is Archil. Your race leader is in the wall heavily. Or was that the car behind? Sorry, that's the car behind. That must be Essa then. Or is it Scold? It's Scold in the wall. And he slammed into it heavily there. And I thought for a second that was your race leader. It's Scold who's broken the car as Archil carries on. Never mind, my friend. I'm sorry for saying it. Tinus still getting caught. Look at them. They're like catching him like angry bulls, might I say. That they're rampaging towards him, but Scold, that'll be damaging. He's broken the lights, I think, Jess.
Yeah, he has, like Ethan did, I think, earlier.
That's going to be a long trip back to the pit lane, and that's going to be more damage. So that's his race pretty much done as he decides to corner cut relatively there. He's furious.
Absolutely furious. That is a shame. That is a shame. But it happens, of course.
What can you say for that man? He was on course for a podium earlier on. He was running at a so comfortable 3rd. Maybe he should have stayed on the wet tyres a bit longer because he's really been struggling since he's chased those softs. He's had no grip out there by Raxa and Gaza. Meanwhile, those two are still closing up on each other as well. Let's see, Scold. No, he's staying out, and he hasn't got any light. So, you know what? Scold, fair play. You know what? Hazy conditions, by the way, now we're starting to see. So, if we are starting to see and you're wondering, why does it look foggy? It's because the hazy conditions are starting to come down now onto the circuit, as the sun now starting to rise in the sky. As, well, you can see that above us, the lovely, bright, kind of grey sky, might we say, because these hazy conditions, unfortunately. Maybe if it wasn't hazy conditions, it'd be more of a beautiful finale to this season as we start in sunlight. like we've begun this season in the sun.
Yeah, it was quite sunny, I think, Evil, at the start of the race, and then it got darker, and then, but you know, it just shows the changing conditions right now. I think Archer got away with that damage, you know, but actually no, he did get damaged. I think it was Skull, but I almost had a heart attack thinking it was Archer, because I didn't want Archer to have the same luck as Skull. But
well, Scold, he's carrying on though. You know what? I reckon Scold's not going to come in now to the end. There's no point really. He's got 10 laps to go. As long as he doesn't throw it into the wall again, which is always possible. Anything can happen. I'll Archer, 18-second lead. You know what? Look how he's lifting off there. He's not risking it at all, Archer. He knows right now he's got this pretty much in the bag unless something goes catastrophically wrong. Tinnis right now still under threat from these two behind. Gaza, Byraxa, still closing up. Still challenging. There's still a chance for this battle for the podium. Especially for second, third and fourth at least. It's not over yet, Jess, until the fat woman sings, and I don't see anyone singing for the time being.
definitely not. As Tinnis in second. I mean, he's going to stay second by the looks of things until, obviously, but maybe Gaza could still come in this as well. And look at Boy Raxa, they're getting close. 126 is. I only just noticed that.
Yeah, they are flying, like I was pointing out earlier, Jess. These two are catching up. Jazzman catching up as well. He's got really a clean sheet ahead of him. And if these guys end up doing mistakes, he's only 8 seconds down the road. Anything's possible. And in these types of races, it usually is. I'm seeing someone spun somewhere around the circuit. I'm wondering who's gone off at turn number 1. Is it Rotary? I think it might be Rotary. It is Rotary. Or it might be Jasko, actually. Rotary or Jasko, one of them has just recently spun through turn number 1. Bicky Daddy, meanwhile, he's now behind Vetro. So Vetro's starting to come through the field slightly down the back slope. Top position for him, not too shabby so far. You can see how sketchy they are through the last corner. However, they keep themselves going. Byraxa still challenging Gaza. Gaza, he's only what is it, 1.6 seconds off of the second position in this race. As there you can see he goes deep. There goes Tinnis, he goes deep, he goes off the road. And they all get concertinas up. Here goes Byraxa then. Round the outside of his teammate. Careful, boys, you don't hit each other. That's the last thing you want to do here. We've got 6 laps to go. Small mistake from Tinnis. That's the first time we've seen it this afternoon. And a small mistake, and they're all over him. Like an attack dog. Attack they go. And you can see as the fog starts to blip as there. What on earth is happening to our cameraman there for a second? He doesn't know why he's so excited. He's like, he can't control it.
Yeah, that was crazy for Mr. Cameraman. 1 minute it didn't move when we were following Tinnis, and now it's just doing all those crazy stuff. I think he doesn't want to show Tinnis, you know. I think he just wants to show the other cars. It's like a Carlos Sainz.
And here we go. Gaza and Byraxa are trying, Jess. And let's see what they can do. They've been closing little bit by little bit, and I think that they're going to switch positions, you know. No, I don't think they were for a second. They were right over to the inside. I'm not sure what they were doing now, but they're having a little bit fun on the drag strip. It's a bit slippery down there. We've only got just over 6-7 laps. You can see the puddles though, Jess, clearly now, as we are now in the daytime. You can see what these puddles really are, especially here. You can see a couple from the inside. In fact, there you can see some on the curves. But Byraxa and Gaza. Gaza's now got a chance of that second position, Jess. That last lap by Tinnis is up pleasing, by the way, 29-0. I mentioned earlier on, I like when they do precise laps. Here's another one right now as the sun rising in the sky here in Indianapolis.
The sun is rising, and obviously we've got a few more laps until the end of this season then. And it's nice to see first, second and third in the championship just battling it all to get away together. And obviously we've got Jazzman as well in this fight. He's won 1 race this season, which was deserving, of course. And obviously Gaz, he's going to try and get past into turn number 1. And he get an audacious move. And I think Jazzman is going to get it. Jazzman.
Gaza hasn't got it. He can't do it. Tinnis keeps second position for the time being. Then Tinnis will not give this up.
It's Tinnis, not Jazzman. Sorry.
Not coming through, my friend. As Biggie Daddy's in the pit lane, that's for damage down the back, I believe. Let's have a quick cut to him. Yes, big damage on the front of poor old Big Kid Daddy. It's gone wrong for him, but here we go again, backing on the drag strip. And they're pushing each other down the straight, give or take, actually. They're really pushing each other here for that position. They know they can get it. If I was Gaza right now, would you let Byraxa through? because Byraxer looks like he's got more pace out of it right now. And he has to get the move done. He has to do it now because he's only got, what, some 4 or 5 laps to go in this afternoon's Grand Prix. This race, might I say, not a Grand Prix. And they're currently coming up to lap 1 of the cars. I'm not sure who that is. It might be an Audi. It might be of Skoda or S. It'll be S who's getting close right up by these guys behind him. Just see the gaggle of cars. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3. And here we go again. Gaza. Slipstream time. He's not close enough this time like last time, but again, it's all about the slipstream. We know how good the Mercedes is when he gets the toe. It's about 5-6 kilometers an hour quicker. And we'll just see here that we'll go up about 270 kilometers an hour nearly. Yeah, we're about 270 kilometers an hour onto the brakes. Compare that as there, Byraxer, there goes Tinners, he goes deep again into turn number 1. And again, battle, here we go then, again, second time of asking. And can Byraxer, can Gaza, might I say, sliver on down the inside this time. Now he can do it down the inside. Now he's finally got 1 position. And here comes his teammate. Here comes Byraxer now to rub the salt in the wound. Is he going to try and do it? Or is he going to come back at him? Here we go then. He's pulled right to the left. He's not going to be given any opportunity. He goes to the outside then. Here we go. Is he going to try it? Is Tinners doing anything? Can he do anything on the brakes? No, he can't. He can't do it. Now, finally, Gaza up to second. Finally, after lap of trying, he does it here on that 58 of number 63. And this is turning into what of a barnstormer just in this afternoon's race.
Yeah, this is a similar race we're seeing. It's the same race we're seeing to the middle of the race, because the middle of the race has been quite boring. But it's great to see a great finale to this race. I mean, it just goes to show that there's been some highs and there's been some lows, hasn't there?
Yeah, at the start of the season, there's the high, there's the low, there's the questionable, and then there's the outright rageous.
Yeah.
And so far, Tinners, he's going to be under pressure from Byraxer, and I don't think he can hold. I think he knows in his heart. He knows, I think, now he'll have to go defensive. He'll have to cover the inside, my friend, because you've given him a free pass. You've given him a free pass, my friend. That's not worked. That's not worked, my friend. You've gave him the position. You should have covered the inside, my friend. It's not worked at all, and poor off Tinners now to 4th. And your heart's just shattering. My heart's shattering. The man, he could have won this race. He could have won this race. And by the way, can we just say this right now? Archill, 124 that last lap, 24.5. He is flying. He's dominated. He's took the lead. He stayed there. As long as he doesn't throw it in the wall in the next couple of seconds, in which case there will be an almighty heart thump. However, he stays on. He's keeping it comfortable. He knows what he's doing. Archill, he's on the way to the victory then. We got Gaza, Byraxer behind. Then comes Tinners. Jazzman's closing on the slot, by the way. He's catching rapidly as well. The gap, he's been closing it by 3-4 seconds every 3 laps. And he's now got that gap right down to, what, a couple of seconds now? About 2-3 seconds. He's still in a chance of getting these guys. Tinners isn't all done yet, but it's beautiful to see we've got really 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th all in a line of their team cars as well. Behind them, Leonardo, he's holding off Skold as well. Then we've got Esser, who's just in this gaggle of cars, might we say, as well. Jasko, Ethan. Then we've got Delfino. Petro, really trying to come up into this race. He's still got a chance of getting 11th position out of this. However, Jess, it's the man between Byraxer and Gazan, and that battle's back on again.
Yeah, this is exciting. I can't wait. I know Byraxer's won the championship, but he wants to be ahead of Gaza in this race, that's for sure. Competition is well and truly on. This could be a drag race to the finish here, as we've got the final 3 laps to go. Oh, go away, Mr. Cameraman. Just go back to the action, please. As we got Gaza. He is doing his absolute best, but I think surely Byraxer is so much quicker than him. The sun is rising. The visibility is going to be tricky, of course, in these final few laps, but you know, for some of these they're loving it. Jazzman, yeah.
Got it, just about. They're hitting on those curves, and they're still wet out there. It's still tricky conditions, as Tinners again. Just sitting back, we're just have a nice on board here with him. We're currently lap 61 of 63, and up front, by the way, I think Archer's in a spot of bobble right now because there's a lot of cars around him. He's got away with it for the time being. 2-3 cars right in his path right, yeah, but so far, like, 23 seconds up the road. It was 24 earlier on. Last lap 1:32, so he did make a small mistake that last lap. So it's not over yet, but he's on his course though. In the background there, you can see Jazzman. The turquoise front end. He's closing up. By Raxter though, he's still got it to run for now. The championship leader, he won the championship last time out, and he's still got the chance to taking the final position in this race. 90th minute we're coming up to now. We're on about 65 minutes into this race. You've got just under 2 and a bit laps to go. Here today in Indianapolis, the season, it started well. It's going to finish in the sun. It started in the sun. In between it, there was all sorts of pandemonium. I might say it might not have been the best of the season so far. But these boys here today are having their heart thrown out of them. They're having it, and they're going to go for it. And this is going to be all down to who's going to get the last corner correct, Jess. It's all going to be about that last lap, the last couple of corners of the last lap. And is Raxter going to try and overtake his teammate? Do they want to risk it? Here, on the penultimate lap of this race, do they just want to hold position?
Ooh, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do, but I know Boy Raxter is a racer at heart, and he'll probably be thinking, I want that position, and I want it now, no matter what it takes. He's got nothing to lose. If he spins, he spins. So, and knowing him, Boy Raxter will probably do some donuts. So, let's see then if he's closer in this lap then. He's got 2 more laps to do it. And I don't think he's going to do it at the moment. I think they're about to lap Scold as well. So... Yeah. Or Essa. I think it's Essa actually.
Oh, I think you're right, it's Scold that, so you're bang on your money then. As per usual, as the sun rise and shine in the sky. And for the first time, all the crowd for quite a while, millions, well about 30,000 of them, can see the grandstands, can see all what are going well. Probably about 200,000 actually, what I say on this grandstands today. See all the action brewing around here today in Daytona, a circuit where, hopefully, Daytona have done a U, it's Indianapolis. Well, it's a late season, we're at the end of it. Oh, a bit too late on the brakes. He still keeps it. He's not going to give it up yet. We're currently on your last lap, by the way, for your race leader. Here he comes then, last lap of this race, beginning right about now. Comes Mr. R10. He's kept himself relatively quiet. Don't see too much of him since earlier on, because he's just been driving his heart out. Not making any mistakes, not doing anything wrong, and he leads the 2 Mercedes drivers from Gaza and Raxter. They're currently climbing up to lap Scold right now. He should be getting well out of the way in a couple of seconds. He should pull over on the straight, if I'm not too mistaken as well. But Jess, what can you say this season's been absolutely phenomenal now, as we are now on your final lap?
Yeah, final lap this season, and the winner of this race is going to be the one who joined quite late and has had very bad luck at the start of his campaign. He's had a DNF, a disconnect, a DNS, a disconnect, a DNS, 4th place, and 8th place. He's had a better second half of the season, the last few races of the season, I must say. And if that happened at the start of his campaign, he would have been higher up, but obviously not. But let's see if Boy Raxter can get the all-important move. It might be too little, too late, we don't know, but they still have another chance to get this move. If someone's going very slow, I think that's someone moving out the way of the lapped cars, or it might be that someone might be running out of fuel.
Meanwhile, Jess, through the last corner, like you said earlier on, didn't have the best start of the season because he wasn't in it, had some poor results. Some might have said he could have been kicked out if he wasn't too careful, but he's proved the critics wrong. Archer wins a dominable race here in Indianapolis and storms to the front of the field. He took the lead and he stayed there. Archer wins. What about the battle for 2nd and 3rd though? It's not over yet because Raxter and Gaza, what can they do? The last 2 corners, they've stayed together. I think they're going to hold position. They might do a Michael Schumacher and 01 and go side by side across the line. Let's see if they do it. They won't do it then. So Gaza, 2nd position. They pulled a gamble and it just about paid off for them then. Raxter in 3rd. The 2 championships leaders finish where they started. There's Vetro pointing sideways at the finish line. Is anyone going to hit him? I don't think so far. Tinnis in 4th. Jazzman in 5th. Gold down there in 7th. Someone has hit poor old Vetro.
That's gold. That's gold.
That's gold. Essa in 8th. What a season. Jasko 9th. Ethan's going to finish down in 10th. He's going to be a disappointing result relatively, and I reckon he's going to be a little bit livid, but he's going to round the season off in all high hopes, and I think there's going to be a few drivers having a few spins down into turn number 1. Let's see.
Gazza, there we go.
They're all going to do donuts, I reckon. It's donut time here in Indianapolis. The season's over.
Oh, boo! I wanted it to go on for longer. But that means, due to Tinnis's great performance, Evil, Tinnis is now confirmed as 3rd place in the standings.
He is then. So 3rd place in the standings. Gazza, he was 2nd in the standings as well. So R10 wins a dominable race here today in Indianapolis. The fastest driver by almost a second a lap. Gazza in 2nd, Byraxa in 3rd, Tinnis a fine 4th, Jazzman is in 5th, ahead of Leonardo down in 6th. Scold in 7th, ahead of Essa in 8th. 9th place for Jasco, Ethan down in 10th, Vetro managing at 11th in the end, ahead of Tofino in 12th. Beaky Daddy and Papano rounding off the field with Fogarty in 15th, and of course, only driver to not start this race. Fogarty got disqualified, actually. Oh dear.
How on earth did he get disqualified?
Matt Jordan.
How on earth did Fogarty get disqualified? That's what I like to know.
Indeed, I think you reckon he spun in the pit lane. He must have spun in the pit lane, you know, Jess. That's the only way you get disqualified, if you spin in the pit lane. So he must have lost it somewhere. And that's a real shame indeed. Well, Jess, what can you say of this season? The first season you've had on PS4.
Well, I've enjoyed it very much, Evil. It's been a great season. There's some races that haven't been the best, but the drivers have entertained us nonetheless, and I quite enjoyed myself. It was great to be back with a different lot of drivers, of course, this time than I'm used to. So I'm used to commentating on the Xbox drivers, but you know, I missed it, and it's been a lot of fun, I must say. I've got to say, my favourite race has got to be Hockenheim. Hockenheim races never disappoint me in any racing game, and I enjoyed that the most this season, and it brought out the most action, so that was my favourite race this season.
Indeed, can't fault it as well. A man who's done 9 seasons nearly, by the way, now. I think some 8-9 seasons. I've been here a long, I've seen a lot. This season's not might have been the best, but we've held it through. We've done everything. Every race, the first time for a long time I managed to do every race. Normally I get ill sometimes, but somehow I've not become ill this season, which is miraculous and a fortune with the current situation. Alas, though, my favourite race, I got to agree, though, Hockenheim, we got to give R2, though, surely driver of the day today, dominating this race. From start to finish, didn't put a foot wrong, he put 3 foot wrong and he spun 4 times, but he still won by 29 seconds, could have been easily over a minute.
Yeah, I was not expecting it to be that high, to be honest. He started 2nd, and he took the lead early on, and he stayed there pretty much, as the Maury Walker quote was saying. He was just incredible. Imagine if he started lower down, because obviously it's his pace. It was brilliant. He hardly made any mistakes out there. He enjoyed the wet conditions. He also enjoyed the dry conditions, and I got to agree with you, Evil. He is my driver of the day, and what a way to wrap up this season. I mean, he was threatened to be blacklisted from the season, and I mean, I'm sure Archer will want to do next season, that's for sure, after that result.
Indeed. Well, for the final time, and we'll see what happens next season. Will it go ahead? Will I do it? Well, I don't know. Yeah, we'll find out in due course. But for the final time this season, and not the final time for me, because I'm doing Formula Renault, so look for that on Monday in 2 weeks' time. Do join us there, because that's entertaining as hell. Join us next time. We don't know when it's going to be for GT3. Could be 3-4 weeks. We don't know. If it's not, we'll keep you updated. Do follow AOR on the website for the final time. Thank you, Jess, for joining me this season. I've been Evil. Jess has been Jess. Take care and goodbye.